It's performance review season, so here's some things to help make this go a lot easier if this is your first go around. When it comes to being the manager in this situation, my favorite thing to do to make this easier is to have each of my team members do a self-review first. Now, I provide them a framework for doing so that way the conversation is guided and easier for them to fill out. But I have found, especially as a non-confrontational person, that hearing their take on everything makes it a lot easier for me to provide mine. Once I see how they've evaluated themselves, there are things that I've missed for sure that they've put on paper, but I can also see where's their awareness level. Are they really self-aware? Are they being honest? Or are they trying to cover things up and they think that everything's great? A performance review should not be a surprise to anyone. This is really just a recap of whatever period of time, 6, 12 months. If you have been doing your job as a manager, having consistent one-on-ones and providing that documentation and performance coaching along the way, then the official performance review is just really a formal situation. I also spend time in the performance review talking about the future. A well-done performance review, assuming you've had all of the planning along the way and this is just a recap, just kind of consolidating all of it into one place and then looking pretty quickly to the future. So in my performance review, it's usually, hey, we're going over this. Here's where I feel like some of your gaps are, your blind spots might be. Here's the development plan for moving forward. And then we immediately pivot into the next year. What's coming? We get excited. We talk about what they need to do to focus on for the next year to maybe get a promotion or perform better if there were some pretty significant gaps. So we talk about those things. I would say 70 to 80% of a performance review with me is talking about the future, and 20% or so is just a recap of the previous year, just for that formal documentation standpoint. If you haven't been doing those one-on-ones, you're going to struggle a little bit, to be completely frank with you, because you're going to have a recency bias and you're going to think about all the things that have happened recently with that person, which is doing your team members a disservice, because there's a 6 or 12 month period of things that they have done well and maybe some mistakes they have made. But our memories, we don't remember everything. And so having that documentation along the way really helps you and them. That way you have this history to go back on and pull from, and it makes it not so painstaking to have to just remember every single little detail. We forget 50% of what someone said in 1 hour, 70% over 24 hours, and 90% over 1 week if it's not reinforced over time or not used within that period of time. So it's unlikely statistically you're going to remember the majority of what's actually happened with this person, especially over a 6 to 12 month period. So strong documentation is really, really important. In summary, when it comes to performance reviews, the prep is really the most important part. And if you haven't done it this year, that's okay. Just start fresh in the new year. That way it makes performance reviews really, really easy, because you've done all the hard work along the way, and you're just taking all of that documentation and just saying, here's the TLDR from the year. We've kind of already talked about this before. You know where we stand. We're moving on. The performance review is a true look at what has happened over a period of time, and it needs to reflect accurately what's happened over that period of time. Not what makes you feel better as a manager or what keeps social cohesion, keeps everybody happy. That's just not how it works. You have to be willing to truly performance coach if you're going to be in the role of a people manager. If you're not, you need to get the skills quickly in order to do it. And if you're not willing to do that, then you need to step out of a people management role, because performance coaching is a critical key to being a strong manager and not putting the company at risk.